Hello loves! How are you guys doing today? It's Monday the 7th of August and it is still quite hot here in Washington. I had a very eventful weekend. It got up to 90 for the first time in 2 years, said the weather man, but you can never trust them. I went and saw my favorite thing of the year, which is Blue Angels. Yep, I have a mini replica. It's not my favorite number, which is the number 5. I used to have one of them, and I just love these little airplanes. I love airplanes so much. I am in love with jets and everything. I blame my mother and my grandpa and all that. But also we rented an apartment. Yeah, that was great. We got one that is in the same complex of my cousin Jessie's and her son Terrence, who I've watched him grow up. I remember getting the text message when he was born. I was in my first period class in 6th grade, and I let out this huge scream. I was like, oh my god, my little cousin was just born. And I got in trouble because obviously I was not paying attention to the teacher, but she was alright with it a little bit. She was like, oh well, that's amazing. But I'll be around him, I'll be around the family, and we'll be able to start moving in the first couple weeks of September. I'm very excited. And I also have on Wednesday, I'm going to see Aerosmith. I was going to go see them a couple years ago, but I think we just missed getting tickets. And then, of course, I think it was right after they came that Steven fell off stage and broke something. He's prone to do that quite a bit. Anyway, for the topic that I decided to discuss today is a little bit sadder, because I had one of my I really miss Davy weekends, and because I watched that English documentary on We Love the Monkeys, and then I totally sat and sobbed. It will be up here on the title screen. It's musicians, mourning over musicians, Davy and others. It's weird, mourning over someone that you don't really know. I never met him. I know a couple of my friends have. Okay. My cat is sitting in the drawer next to me. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. You still get sad, even 6 months after it. You feel weird, like it's not real. I still feel that way about people like George Harrison and John Lennon, who were a big influence on my life. I remember when I was young, one person who was a big influence on my life was Kurt Cobain. I guess when I was younger, I used to think that he was coming to my birthdays every year, and he had passed about either a couple months or a year before I was born. And my mom just didn't have the heart to tell me. And I understand, because I was a very, very excited little girl all the time, Oh, Mommy, I'm so excited. Kurt's coming to my birthday this year, and nobody could tell me. But when I went to school one year, they told me, a little girl at school, or the teacher told me he passed, and I came home crying, and I said, Mom, is he really gone? And they said, yeah, sweetie, he's gone. So that was really, really hard on me. And then, I woke up one morning in 2001, and I don't know if it was we had time off, or if I was just sick, because I was sick a lot when I was a little girl. And I remember watching the news or whatever, and they had about George's passing, and I was like, oh, that's George. You know, and I woke my mom and said, George is on TV, Mommy. She's like, oh, really? And I think she knew, probably, what was going on. I didn't know he was sick. I thought he was fine. And I couldn't read. I was only like 6. And then she quietly told me what was going on, and I learned to accept it. Even, you know, I didn't want to. And yeah, it was really hard. But I guess, you know, people have influences on your life. It's hard to know that they're gone even though you haven't met them. And like, I lost my grandpa back in October of last year, and I didn't know how to feel about it. My mom has been really upset about it, and I just kind of felt like I wasn't really missing a part of me yet, because I didn't know him. I knew him when he came up. He never talked to me. He didn't know what to say to me. He could talk about airplanes to me. I remember him falling asleep on the couch when we were here, and I was afraid something was wrong with him. I remember him being really sick. Really sick a lot. Like, he couldn't eat, and he didn't like my little cousin because he was half black, and he couldn't accept that, but yet he could accept my uncle being transgender. And that really pissed me off, and it made me feel very resentful towards him. But, you know, then I would listen to people, like musicians who felt that things were okay. And, you know, like growing up with Davy, who I thought was my brother. That was really dumb, I know, but it was really nice when I was younger. I used to convince people he was, and they thought it was cute, because I always wanted a brother, an older brother to protect me, or a younger sister to protect. And, you know, I was really big on the imaginary friends. I used to have this was it older? Yeah, sister from Sarah. Her name was Sarah from Flubber. My mom thinks that she was actually my first crush, which she probably was. She was really cute and all that. But I don't know. I know a lot of people grieve in different ways, and I don't know. This it sounds so dumb, doesn't it? Just the way I'm talking about this. It was meant to sound. This was meant to sound very good, but it didn't come out as good as I wanted it. It was supposed to sound like a good thing about how I miss musicians and how they had a good influence on my life. Like, because they did. Musicians, like, music means a lot to me. But, you know, I'll stop this now because it's 9 minutes and I have no way to edit these things, and that's really bad. And once I find an editing way, you can hear me stop talking. Okay, I love you guys. Bye. Peace.